Hey there, I'm back. I was on the mainland for a month and came back on Monday, I went to CrossFit for the first time in a long time, did a bunch of these bodybuilders, and then we did these hang power cleans and a bunch of thrusters, which are super hard. I only used a 35-pound bar. I'm kind of easing into it, but it felt so good to be back. I've gone the last 3 days in a row and every muscle in my body is sore, but it feels really good to move my body and to lift things again. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. It's Carol here, and I'm back with another meal prep video for you. I know I've been MIA for the last month. I went to the mainland, took my twin boys to college, and I hung around for a while, had some fun myself, saw lots of live music, met up with some old friends, made some new friends, and I really loved the place that we were in. It was just beautiful. I went on a solo hike almost every morning just to clear my thoughts, and in the Pacific Northwest, so many beautiful hikes to go on, so many beautiful rivers. I went paddleboarding and saw the mountains, and it was just an amazing trip. But I'm glad to be home. I'm ready to get back into meal prepping for my clients that live locally. I'll put in a clip. I went to CrossFit this morning for the first time in a month, and I've been really active on my trip, but I haven't been lifting any heavy weights. So it was really good to get back into that. I missed that. I missed everyone there, and I had a really good time this morning at CrossFit. But it is 12:30, and I'm hungry. I have an English muffin here. I'm gonna top it with some avocado and some tomatoes and some green onions. I'm also gonna take my mushrooms. I didn't take these with me on my trip, but I took them for about a week before I left. I have chaga and lion's mane, and they're two different mushrooms. They both have a lot of the same properties. They're really good for immunity, really good for mental health. They're adaptogens, so they help you handle stressors that come up in your life. I've been under a lot of stress lately, just getting the boys ready to launch and then coming home alone, and now I'm living alone, just me and the cats, and everything's been going great, but I want to take these mushrooms just to support my immunity and my energy. Also really good for gut health. So I have lion's mane and chaga, and they don't taste bad at all. They are tinctures because the powders are so hard for me to take. I just don't drink a lot of smoothies, and they're kind of chalky, they don't mix well with things, and these tinctures are amazing. So I just take one dropper full of each, and they don't taste bad at all. It's completely painless. So I haven't noticed any difference. I took them for about a week before I left. Honestly, I haven't noticed any difference, but I'm feeling good, so. Okay. Let me know in the comments what you think of mushrooms. There's so many health benefits that I thought I would give it a try. So I have been gone for a month, and I haven't been filming anything. I thought about filming when I was there, but we were just kind of eating on the fly and in their apartment, and they don't have a whole lot of equipment. I didn't buy them a lot of equipment because let's face it, they don't cook. I've taught them how to make a few simple dishes, a few of their favorites, but they won't be cooking very much, I'm sure. But I did get to go to a lot of amazing restaurants. There's a lot of vegan restaurants. Every place that we went to had a lot of Mexican. I love Mexican food. I love guacamole. And every place that we went to had a vegan option. And not just like vegetables, but they had like tofu tacos and jackfruit and things that we just don't have here on Maui. So that was awesome to try new foods and to be well fed. I just have a bunch of these cherry tomatoes I'm gonna chop up and put on top of this. It's definitely a transition being a empty nester now, but I'm excited for it. I'm happy that the boys are in such a wonderful place. They're all set up with their apartment. They live in a cute little town. It's very safe. There's tons of hiking trails right within like a 5-mile radius. They're close to the mountains. They love snowboarding, and got to meet their track and field coach. He's super awesome. They have practice year-round, so that's going to keep them busy. They're also applying for jobs, and their classes are all kind of consolidated. You know, they're not too spread out, so they'll have lots of free time and lots of time to work if they because they need money. I'm just gonna put some garlic salt on this. And I also like this no salt. This is just straight potassium. We're all deficient in potassium. You need like 4,500 milligrams a day. And it's really hard to get that much. So just like a quarter teaspoon of this has 900 milligrams of potassium. So it's a really good salt replacement and a really good potassium supplement. Okay, so I'm just gonna eat my snack here. And then while I'm cooking, I get to eat whatever I'm making too. So that's awesome. I'm gonna eat this and then I will show you the menu for the week. Okay, so I make 2 different breakfasts, 2 different lunches, and 2 different dinners for my clients. The first breakfast I'm going to make is a French toast casserole. So I'm gonna start by mashing up a couple of bananas. I'm using this giant bowl because I like to have a bowl that's too big rather than a bowl that's too small. You guys ever run into that problem? You get started with something and run out of room. So I'm just mashing up these 2 bananas. Okay, got my bananas all mashed. Now I'm gonna add a half a cup of ground flax. This is gonna make it nice and thick. And provides a lot of fiber and protein and omega-3s. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is also gonna help to thicken it up. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's a lot. Teaspoon of vanilla. 1.5 cups of plant milk. I'm using soy milk because that's what I have. And then I'm also going to use 1 cup of coconut milk from the can. This is full fat coconut milk. This is going to make it super creamy and delicious. I'm adding in a scoop of vanilla protein powder just for some extra protein, and it provides some sweetness. Smells amazing already. Okay, so I have about 10 slices of 100% whole wheat bread that I just diced up and put in this pan. I'm gonna mix it all together and then see if it fits back in here. It's just easier to mix in this bowl. See, I'm glad I got the giant bowl. I wonder if it's gonna fit back in there. I'm feeling good about it. Perfect. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice a banana and put it on top for a little decoration. There, doesn't that look delicious? So I'm just gonna cover this and put it in the fridge overnight and it'll be ready to bake tomorrow. Should love my outfit. Okay, next on the menu is creamy broccoli soup. This is so good. I'm making a lot extra. I'm making some extra so that I can have some, of course. I just have 3 big carrots. I just chopped them really roughly. 2 onions and 4 russet potatoes. I didn't peel them, I just scrubbed them really well. I didn't peel the carrots either. If you buy organic carrots, you don't have to peel them, especially in a pureed soup. You can cut these up smaller, like bite size, if you want to have a chunky soup, but I'm gonna puree this and then add in some extra broccoli at the end. It's gonna be so good. So my pot's almost full of veggies. I wanna make sure that it is full so that I have enough for the servings that I need. I also have 6 cloves of garlic that I just peeled and roughly chopped. I love this recipe because you don't have to dice everything finely. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm gonna add a tablespoon of better than bouillon and 6 cups of water. You wanna make sure everything is covered with water. You wanna make sure these hard veggies are covered with water. Okay, that looks good. Now, broccoli. I'm just gonna fill it to the top with broccoli. And it shrinks down a little bit. I'm gonna cover this and simmer it until all the veggies are soft. I wanted to show you my super fancy tofu press. I just have a heavy pan. There's a wooden spoon under there, and the tofu is draining right into the sink. I have a bowl with some water in it too, just to make it extra heavy. This is for the tofu curry. Okay, everything is nice and soft. I am just pureeing the soup, and I also added a can of coconut milk. I'm gonna add some nutritional yeast and some salt and pepper, and we're gonna be ready to roll. And then I'm gonna add in some extra broccoli at the end. Okay, let me tell you, this soup is absolute heaven. I could just dive right into that. So creamy and delicious. I'm gonna show you a little secret. I like to add frozen broccoli at the end because it stays bright green. By tomorrow, it will be completely thawed and it's perfectly cooked. Okay, so I just stir that in, and then we'll have some actual broccoli chunks in the soup. It's nice to know what you're eating. I'm gonna add as much as I can in this pot. And I added about a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast and a couple teaspoons of salt and pepper. And this soup is ready to go. I just remembered I have sage, so I'm just gonna put a couple of teaspoons of fresh sage in there. I love sage and broccoli together. When I was in Greece, I had a sage and broccoli pasta dish, and I was blown away by how well they go together. So I'm super happy that I have that. Okay, I'm just gonna stir that in, and this is gonna sit in the fridge overnight, and I will serve it up tomorrow. Okay, now we're gonna let the oven do some work for us. I just chopped up 3 pounds of sweet potatoes. 3 pounds? 3 pounds. And I put some onion powder, some garlic salt, and paprika on those. I'm gonna pop those in the oven. I have it preheating at 375. I also have a tray of russet potatoes and onions that I diced up. These are gonna be for the breakfast burritos. I have this barbecue rub that someone got me from Trader Joe's. It smells really smoky. So let's see. Ooh, I'm just gonna put some of that on here. I want these burritos to be nice and flavorful, so we're gonna flavor every layer of those. And I put some garlic salt on there too. I think there's salt in here. This has coffee beans, brown sugar, sea salt, cane sugar, garlic, onion, paprika, red pepper, orange peel, and yeah, that's it. So smells super smoky and flavorful. I'm gonna pop these both in the oven, then I'm gonna get another tray and I'll show you that. Okay, look how beautiful. Brussels sprouts and broccoli. This is the last tray, well, for this load. And then when these are done, I'm going to do the tofu and the chickpeas, but those don't take very long. This is just some garlic salt, and this one's gonna go in the oven too. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts are done roasting. Roasted broccoli is so delicious. I'm gonna pack this up for tomorrow, and I need this pan for the tofu. Okay, these sweet potatoes are deliciously roasted, yum. I'm on to the tofu curry. I have a couple of onions in here and about 6 cloves of garlic. I just put about 3 tablespoons of red curry paste in there. I'm just cooking this down with some water, just until the onions are softened. I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, and just let this cook down until the onions are nice and soft. Then I'm gonna get this tofu diced up, toss it in some cornstarch and seasonings, and put it on this tray. Okay, I got the tofu cubed up in this bowl. I'm just gonna sprinkle with some cornstarch, probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Let's see if I can get it out of here. I've got some onion powder. Some garlic powder. And some paprika. I'm also going to put some garlic salt. Okay, that looks good. Now they might break up a little bit, but if you toss them gently, just until everything's coated. It's not a big deal. You just want to have a little bit of cornstarch on each piece. Nice and coated. So I just have my tray. I washed it and made sure that it's dry. You don't want a whole lot of moisture on there. And I'm just going to pop these on there. Okay, and these are gonna go into the oven. So our potatoes and onions are nice and crispy and delicious. Those are for the breakfast burritos. I have the onions and garlic are nice and cooked down. I just added a couple tablespoons of soy sauce and some water to get those going. Now, I'm going to add some coconut milk, a bag of spinach. This is a pound of spinach. It's kind of a lot, but it really cooks down. If you've ever cooked with spinach before, I'm just gonna put the whole thing in there. All right. I'm just gonna let this simmer until it wilts, and you'll see it will shrink tremendously. Okay, time to roast the chickpeas. They're gonna go on this tray. I've just putting some onion powder and some paprika and garlic powder, garlic salt. I'm just gonna toss these up. There. So quick and easy. And these are gonna be roast in the oven for the quinoa bowls, which I will show you tomorrow. Okay, it is looking so good. The tofu is done. They are puffy and crispy. I'm just gonna toss them into the curry. That's all that spinach. It really cooked down with the coconut milk. It's super thick and creamy and delicious. I'm just gonna toss these in. And then the cornstarch that's on the tofu will thicken up the sauce as it sits overnight, and it will be perfectly melded together. Okay, so we've got our tofu curry. We've got our amazing broccoli soup. We've got the potatoes and onions for the breakfast burritos, Brussels sprouts and broccoli that are roasted, and the sweet potatoes. These are so good. I could eat, this is 3 pounds. I could eat this in one sitting, no problem. Chickpeas are still in the oven, but we're looking good today, and we're gonna finish it off tomorrow. We just need to make the rice, the quinoa, and the noodle salad, and then assemble all of our dishes. See you tomorrow. Okay, so it is the next day. I have all the soup portioned out because I needed my pan, and I have the tofu curry. Doesn't that look amazing? Red curry tofu with rice. I sprinkled the little sesame seeds on top. Those are ready to go. French toast casserole is out of the oven. I have toasted up some ramen noodles, sunflower seeds, and almonds in the oven for a while. This is going to be our Asian salad. Sorry about the noise. And I'm going to make some quinoa next. Okay, so we are getting there. I got the tofu curry, the broccoli soup. This is an Asian salad that I made with those noodles and the nuts, and I just diced up an entire cabbage and a bunch of carrots and some green onions. And the dressing is really simple. It's just a little bit of soy sauce, lots of white wine vinegar. You can use rice vinegar. That's what I would use if I had it. Some garlic powder, black pepper, and a little bit of sesame oil. And the dressing is just amazing. Oh, and also a couple tablespoons of maple syrup to give it a little sweet kick. And that, I could eat this forever. It is so yummy and good. And it's got lots of protein with all those nuts in there too. Okay, if you've watched my videos, you've seen me make this before, the tofu scramble. I have 2 blocks of tofu that I just crumbled up kind of loosely in there. I am going to add some nutritional yeast. I just like to make sure everything is sort of coated. Onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of turmeric, not too much, just for color, and a splash of soy sauce. And that's it. I just keep stirring this up as it cooks. Let it get nice and brown. And as you stir it up, the whole thing starts to turn yellow. and it tastes absolutely amazing. Does it taste like eggs? Not really, but it has kind of an eggy vibe. I also put about a half a teaspoon of kala namak, or black salt, in there. It's optional, but it does give it that eggy flavor. So I'm just going to keep stirring this up until it is cooked. You want it nice and dried out and kind of egg-like. And I'm going to serve this with roasted potatoes. I decided not to do burritos today. Okay, so remember we made the tofu scramble. I added the last green onion and a little bit of broccoli in as I was cooking it, and I served it with some roasted sweet potatoes and russet potatoes and onions. This is going to be one of the breakfasts. And then we still have to serve up our French toast casserole. And remember, yesterday we roasted these veggies, the Brussels sprouts and broccoli and the chickpeas and sweet potatoes, and that is served with quinoa, and I'm going to make a dressing to go over top of all that too. So we are getting close. This is that French toast casserole that we made yesterday, and it turned out beautifully. It's so yummy and sweet and smells so cinnamony and delicious. I'm just going to finish the dressing and we are done for the day. Thank you so much for watching. As you can see, we made a week's worth of meals for several people in just a few hours, and it was fun. We had some great dishes today. I hope you guys got some inspiration on how you can cook for yourselves for the week. I'm a huge fan of meal prep. It just sets you up for success and makes the week go so much smoother. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.